So this is West Haven Marina.
West Haven Marina.
But what is Waitemata?
Waitemata is the
Harbor.
Yes.
Harbor. Waitemata Harbor. And the bridge is connecting
the North Shore to the city, basically.
the North Shore to the city of Auckland. Look, guys, how gorgeous. And today we are sightseeing Auckland, not the capital, but the main city of New Zealand. We're gonna see major attractions and areas of this beautiful city.
That's all Queen Street directly up that way. There's a big shopping centre in here as well, known as Little Queen Street. It's got three levels of retail shopping. Top floor is a big international food
Is
court
it
as well.
the very center of the
Basically,
of
yeah.
Auckland?
Yeah, so
Oh.
everything, it's not exactly the centre, but everything revolves around
Right
this area.
here.
So, yeah.
How many people live in Auckland?
So New Zealand has a population of 5.4 million people.
Yes, like in
And
Denmark.
Auckland has 1/3 of that, so 1.7 million live in Auckland.
Interesting.
Yeah. So,
And what would be like the main industry, you would say, of New Zealand?
New Zealand will be our agriculture, so our
Agriculture.
farming, our timber, meat and dairy, that kind of thing. Here in Auckland, it's more tourism.
Right.
Is our big thing.
And what's the major export?
Timber, meat and dairy. Those three. So we also do wool, honey, wine as well, but those three are our main ones.
That's probably the prime real estate here.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
With some VIP price tags.
Yeah. So we are home to the two largest marinas in the southern hemisphere, and one of those is the third largest in the world, and that's actually this marina here we're going into now, West Haven. Wow. This is the largest in the southern hemisphere and the third largest marina in the world. So
that's crazy for such a small country, right?
Yes, yeah. There's about 2,000 berths just in this marina alone.
Wow.
So
what do people in New Zealand do for hobbies and fun?
Usually we're very much like a fitness orientated country, so everybody's walking or running or cycling or that kind of thing. A lot of people still play rugby. Obviously our main sport, so sports are very big.
I see.
But the main one would be boating here in Auckland, especially boating, fishing, sailing, that
Right.
kind of thing as well. So the amount of boats we have is basically.
Right. That's the most affluent part of Auckland, yeah? And the name of it is?
Herne Bay.
Herne Bay. So what do people make money on here?
A lot of it is generational wealth. So a lot of people have properties have been passed down through generations, or they've sectioned off quite a big piece of land, sold it. Otherwise, it's a lot of overseas money as well, international money coming in.
What do you mean?
So people that live overseas, they'll come buy a property here and they'll rent it out or they'll keep it.
Nice. What would you say is the style of homes here?
So you'll see a couple of very different styles. Originally it was more the Victorian age.
Victorian, It reminds me of New York Cape Cod, style.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it's got a lot of different styles. We don't really have one set, even with food like cuisine or anything, we don't have a set style or culture. I think it's all very diverse. So a lot of different building styles. You see the plaster, you see the timber, you see the brick.
Right.
It's all very different. It's modern. So
Similar to Australia, where there are like in summertime so many creepy crawly like spiders and snake here in summer, or no,
so,
it doesn't have.
We don't have crocodiles, we don't have alligators, we don't have snakes, we don't have deadly spiders.
You don't?
So no, very safe here, very safe, very you can walk through the bush and nothing's going to kill you.
I wonder why, because it's like New Zealand is so close to Australia and they have.
So New Zealand's we've always had birds. Birds have always been our top predator. And so we used to have some very big birds. and obviously they eat a lot of the insects and things, and spiders as well. So yeah, no dangerous here, which is good. See the amount of boats we have.
That's quite unbelievable.
So that's the old Ponsonby post office, little building there. So a bit of an interesting story about the old post office is that in 1920 the old original postmaster, his home was broken into and he was actually murdered. The perpetrators had stolen the keys for the post office, went and robbed the place. But the interesting part of the story is that is the first case in Australasia to be solved by fingerprint technology. Stolen a vehicle about a year prior, left their fingerprints all over that was then recorded and collected, and they were then arrested very quickly after that murder.
So that is the Ponsonby Road, right?
Yeah, this is Ponsonby Road we're on now, yeah. So you'll start to see now a lot of cafes, eateries, bars, restaurants.
So main place to hang out and eat.
Yes. There's a place coming up on the left somewhere, I think it's the next little bit here, it's called Lucky 8. It's a bit of Asian fusion cuisine, but everything is $8. So your drinks are $8, your food's $8. I think it's just in here on the left, Lucky 8 there. So
what is the main dish in New Zealand?
So we don't really have one. We don't
really
have no.
Traditional?
I would say Auckland, the best dish would be your seafood. Because of the amount of boating and fishing, seafood is very popular here in Auckland, but no really traditional dish. As such.
My other question is, as for economy of New Zealand, is like, what would you say, do people have good jobs, good salaries? Like, what is the in general economy?
Not very good.
No?
Our economy is very,
Why?
a lot lower than Australia. So the size of our economy is probably the same size as just one state of Australia, so Queensland. So very small economy. Our taxes are a bit higher, and so we're losing a lot of our young employees to Australia because they can afford to pay more, basically. So a lot of our nurses were losing, a lot of our police officers were losing to Australia, basically.
So the salary is not that great.
Not as good, no.
But a lot of job opportunities, or no? It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not the best.
And that is one of the stops during our sightseeing tour of Auckland in one of the cafeterias. Pricing approximately half of what we pay in the US. So we arrived at Mount Eden. That is it has a little bit of a hike, 10 minutes to the top. You've got some beautiful views of Auckland right there, and I'm going on a hike. So Mount Eden is actually a volcano that you can visit. They made those nice access points to the top of the mountain, and you have gorgeous views of Auckland right here. This massive grass-covered crater is one of the top attractions to see in Auckland. It is the highest natural point in the city, and it offers breathtaking 360 degrees panoramic views. It is not only a dormant volcano, it is also a sacred ground for Maori people, the native people of the land. It is called Maungawhau, and it is one of the largest and most important sites in the region for Maori people. The mountain contains the burial caves of Maori ancestors, so it is important to remember that while not visible to the public, it is a sacred place and cemetery, not just a viewpoint. And here we have spectacular views of the city. So that's a major port of Auckland.
It's our largest port in New Zealand.
In New Zealand. One more time. So the reason why we don't see much sand is because
of a high tide. So we get about 9 feet between high tide and low tide, basically.
9 feet. Wow.
So we go all the way out to probably that little white marker just sitting right there.
And we have black swans here.
Yeah, black swans, yeah.
Interesting facts about the country. It is called Aotearoa by native people of the land, Maori people. Aotearoa means land of the long white cloud. The country is split into North and South Island. It is known for volcanoes and vibrant cities. South Island is known for epic mountains, fjords, and glaciers. People of New Zealand call themselves kiwis, like their most famous bird. Let's have a tour of my hotel room. I stayed at M Social Hotel that is located in Central Business District. It has wonderful Auckland Harbour views and it is conveniently located by many shops, restaurants and bars. I really loved the clean aesthetics of the room and quite unique design. As you can see, the bathroom has an opening to the bedroom. New Zealand is a beautiful country. In order to explore it, I headed outside of Auckland to see Waitomo Caves. It took us approximately 2.5 hours to get there. And we arrived at Waitomo Caves tour in Waitomo village. It is a region with over 300 limestone caves. The main attraction are famous glowworms, but they aren't worms at all. They are larvae of a fungus and the species is unique to New Zealand. We saw the beauty of glowworms when taking a ride on a boat throughout the caves in the dark. It was quite an experience. At one point it was completely silent and dark, and this is when we are coming out of the cave. Kia ora means hello in Maori, and here we drove another 2 hours from the caves to Te Puia. It is a geothermal attraction on the edge of Rotorua city. In Te Puia, you can visit Maori Arts and Crafts Institute. It is a place where young Maori students learn and practice traditional carving, weaving, stone, and bone carving. Visitors can see master artisans at work, ensuring these ancient skills are passed down through generations. You can admire here every detail of Maori crafts and arts. The school offers 3 programs to Maori students. The first one is National Wood Carving School, the second one National Stone and Bone Carving School, and the third one National Weaving School. You can explore here galleries showcasing finished artworks and displays that explain the stories, symbolism, and techniques behind Maori arts.
This is our Kiwi Conservation Centre. This is one of 16 facilities that are in New Zealand with the main purpose of protecting our Kiwi birds. Now we do have about 69,000 Kiwis in our country, but we also have a lot of introduced predators. Predators like possums, weasels, cats and dogs, they are the main predators for our birds.
This geothermal area has an immense significance to Maori people. The features are considered treasures and are intertwined with their history and identity. Here you can see the main geyser, Pohutu. It is the largest one in the southern hemisphere. Pohutu means constant splashing. The geyser erupts at least once or twice every hour, shooting a jet of boiling water up to 30 meters, 100 feet high. Its eruptions can last for minutes or can go on for much longer. Pohutu is connected to the nearby Prince of Wales Feathers geyser. When the Prince of Wales Feathers starts to play, it's a sure sign that Pohutu is about to erupt. This geyser gets its name from its plumes of steam and water that resemble the feathers on the royal emblem. The valley is a chaotic steaming landscape, and the place is definitely worth visiting when exploring New Zealand. And now let's see the absolute highlight and the main attraction in New Zealand, visited by 700,000 people a year, the Hobbiton and the Lord of the Rings movie set.
The Tainui one. So a waka is a big canoe, so that's what that was a model of. But we're going to go back to 1250 or 1350, depending on which sources you use. The king has got his own hill, which I'll show you in a bit, but your chiefs will be near the top, and then you'd work your way down to the Māori warriors, and then down to normal members of the... They seemed very active when that car went past. Oh, they're calves, that's why. Oh. So they're Jersey cows, those are. Anyway, so Peter Jackson, he sent his scouts on a mission. He sent them on a mission to find an area that looked like English countryside. He wanted hills, he wanted a lake, and he wanted like a tuft of trees as well. Now they flew out in a helicopter, and they spotted the Alexander's farm from the helicopter, and they were like, "Oh, cool, blimey, mate, this looks perfect." And they found the farm, and basically they flew back, and they told Peter, and Peter came out in the helicopter, and they were like, this is where we think we should film. And Peter came and had a look, and he was like, "Oh lad, you've done a great job there." And and he said, "This is perfect." So they flew down to the local town of Matamata, which is quite close to here, about 20-minute drive the other side, or maybe 15-minute drive the other side of Hobbiton. And they flew down to that town, and they rented a car, and out they came to the Alexander's farm. Now they found the house, they knocked on the door, they knocked again. Finally, on the third try, there was an answer. An irate Ian Alexander opened the door. He was annoyed because he was in the middle of watching the All Blacks play rugby. So he was in the middle of watching a rugby game. And Kiwis, oh, do they love their rugby. So yeah, he got chatting to them over half time, and then he was like, "Right, talk to me at the end when it's over, and I'll be able to talk to you properly." And they had a chat, and Ian Alexander, he was like, "Lord of the what? Lord of the who? Lord of the Flies?" He hadn't heard of this at all. However, his son was listening in, and his son kicked him under the table and was like, "Dad, this is amazing. Like, I've read all the books, it's awesome." So his son actually persuaded him. He was like, "Okay, fine, we'll do it." The trilogy of books of Lord of the Rings into a trilogy of films. So it's all ancient history now, but I'll tell you the story anyway. So he turned these books into films, as we all know. Lots of sheep here as well, and lots of lambs. So it's getting a bit warmer. Getting chased. The Cornetto trilogy by Simon Pegg is up there for me. But regardless, Lord of the Rings became one of the greatest trilogies of all time. Now, as you can imagine, this led to lots and lots of tourism, of people coming here wanting to see Hobbiton, but it wasn't there. So Ian would let people go initially and say, "Go on, go have a look, just make sure you shut all the gates." And then eventually people just started hopping the fence. They stopped asking, leaving gates open. Bearing in mind this is a working sheep farm that we're going to, so it was a bit of a nightmare. But luckily, another 10 years down the line, maybe 15 years, Peter Jackson called up again, and he said, "Hey Ian, would you like..." And he was like, yep, whatever it is, yep, I'm keen." And he was about to ask, "Can I remake the Hobbiton set for The Hobbit this time, because he'd been given the task. I don't know why they chose to turn it into 3 films, but he was given the task of turning the Hobbit book into 3 separate films. Now, this task was, depending on how big of a fan you are, was an interesting choice. The addition this time was that you leave the set up and don't dismantle the set. And that's what we're going to go visit today. So we're going to go see the set of The Hobbit rather than the set of The Lord of the Rings. So it's pretty amazing that we get to see that. So good that they did leave it up. And yeah, basically it's about 5-10 minutes from here. So we're not far now. But
So we are on the premises of Hobbiton Movie Set in New Zealand. The crew, when they were filming first Lord of the Rings, they were given a task to find a place that resembles English countryside. They took a helicopter ride, and from that helicopter they found this beautiful privately owned farm with, as you can see in the background, some sheep and animals, and they talked to the owners, and they came to agreement to film Lord of the Rings here. Then after that, the movie set was dismantled, but people kept on coming in masses. So I think 10 or 15 years later, when they were filming Hobbiton, and they established another movie set for that, they decided to keep the set, and now hundreds of thousands of people come here yearly and for the tour of this beautiful place that we're going to see today. If you didn't catch the important details, this is the recap. Peter Jackson was a director of the movie Lord of the Rings and Hobbiton, and it is located on this beautiful Alexander family farm that is 1,250-acre working farm near Matama in the Waikato region of the New Zealand in North Island.
It's great when you're making a movie, everything's so temporary. The film survives, but the sets and the costumes and the props that you make, they all just get thrown away. And so I'm delighted that Hobbiton has managed to survive, and I'm really pleased that you're taking the time to visit it, and I hope that you enjoy yourself. It's been years ago that we were flying around in a helicopter and found the Alexander farm from the air, and it, for some reason from the air it looked right, and when we landed it was absolutely perfect, as I'm sure you'll see for yourselves. So thank you very much to the Alexander family for their brilliant support over the years, and especially to Russell, who has been the greatest business partner to have, and as you'll see yourself, doing a fantastic job, making you very welcome.
Potential. So when the team came back for The Hobbit, instead of having polystyrene and plywood sets, they decided on real permanent sets made out of steel and cement and thick macrocarpal wood. And that is the version of the set that we have today. It took 2.5 years to build, and they were only on set to film for 12 days. So we've come a long way since 1999. But you also notice this road here that we're driving in on. That's also part of the permanent set, but it's not an original part of the farm. So Peter Jackson, just before they started building the set, went to the Prime Minister and asked for a bit of money to build the road. And while the Prime Minister couldn't provide any money, he could provide the New Zealand Army. And so the Army came out and built this road, and they were rewarded for their efforts by getting to play orcs in a couple of major battles.
Alright, you guys, we're pretty well all the way around this area. I have 4 Hobbit holes that you're more than welcome to grab some pieces in front of. Walk around, just stay off the grass, and then I'll meet you guys in a couple minutes to tell some stories. Now, the road is about 7 feet tall. So we made a version of that cart where Frodo is sitting 2.5 meters behind Gandalf. And then we just lined the shot up perfectly so that it looks like they were right beside each other, but really we were tricking it in real time. And that's why I point out these doors as well. It's because sometimes you have to use the environment to be able to trick the eye. You don't need CGI, sometimes you just got to be able to be crafty. So as you move through the movie set, you'll notice a couple different size doors. You'll also notice the details.
The site features 44 permanently reconstructed Hobbit halls, along with the iconic landmarks, the double-arched Green Dragon Inn, the mill, and the party tree that we're gonna see later on. The gardens are fully functional, growing vegetables and herbs. There are plenty of natural trees, but the large oak tree atop Big End is artificial. It was cut down from a nearby location, every leaf was stripped by hand, and then thousands of artificial leaves were wired onto it. A generator was even used to make the leaves flutter in a breeze for a specific shot. To create the illusion of hobbits being smaller than humans, the set uses forced perspective. Hobbit halls are built in different scales. Smaller halls are placed further away from human-sized doors to make the characters appear the correct size on camera. There is practically only one human-sized door that is used by an actor to go through it. The other homes don't have interiors, and the main structure is only the door for the purpose of filming. We will see, however, a Hobbiton house inside in its full beauty, but it was built not for the set, solely for the tourists to visit it. It was fascinating for me to see how the whole village gives an impression of being real one. Meanwhile, only the front little facade with the door is real. I must admit, it was a true dream of mine to visit this fairy tale place since I became aware of it a few years ago.
You know, if you are aware of this door, you are aware of the people that live inside there. So, Bag End itself is quite large, as you'll see, especially as we move down the hill in a couple of minutes. The door itself is 100% human scale, so it's designed so that any actor playing a Hobbit can just walk right in, look the perfect size, have no issues whatsoever. No need for that CGI, the forced perspective thing we've been talking about. Inside, alrighty, you guys, come on in this way. It really.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And here we are inside the Hobbiton house. I need to explore every single room. And that is the mill located by a beautiful pond that was used for filming. Right by the mill, there is the Green Dragon Inn, the last stop of the tour. It is a fully operational pub where visitors can enjoy 4 exclusive handcrafted beverages. The visit to the farm and the Hobbiton Movie Set created a long-lasting memory. Did I have enough of exploring New Zealand? Absolutely not. Today we are going to see rainforest and a beautiful Piha Beach. Here we are at the Arataki Center admiring Tasman Sea opening to the Pacific Ocean. We are going to explore Waitakere Ranges rainforest, where we are going to learn about the trees.
So the one on the right, of course, is the famous kauri, a bit older than the one in front of the Arataki Visitor Centre. It has lost a lot of branches recently, but that's not because of the dieback disease. That's actually because we had a very dry summer. And it's enjoying the wet weather now, because of course it is a rainforest tree. So this one we think is roughly around 90 years old. It's beginning to lose its bottom branches. And when it loses its bottom branches, that means there's no knots in the wood, which makes it another ideal timber for building with.
Yeah.
So that's west.
Weather was pretty good and it had a lot of
I guess
rain,
it's
which is
technically
unusual for
Senegal
Namibia.
as well,
So there were
but
just
that's
flowers
flowery.
everywhere.
Wow.
The reason they're the tallest tree in the forest is not because they're going to remain that way, but because they're the first trees to grow after you have cleared the forest. So to give you an idea of how big this forest is going to get, it's going to get a lot taller than those big trees that we have in front of us. So it's still in early days for this forest. It's about around 90, 100 years old, so there's still lots of growing to do. Place in the world, we had our fair share. So sadly this has lost some of its branches.
So when the branches fall off, do they use it for something or do they just leave it to...
So the rock down there is known as Piha Rock, and that's how Piha got its name. Basically the Maori came to this area and looked down on that rock and they saw that the sea came on either.
If you go straight from Auckland, Piha Beach is approximately 40 minutes drive.
In the waves and dumped onto these beaches. There's about 6 of them at this side of Auckland on the west coast, and then it continues on to be the golden sand that you might be more familiar with. So enjoy the beach, please be careful of the wave.
So we are right now at the Piha Beach. We drove 45 minutes with the first stop at the rainforest, and yeah, we arrived at this beautiful beach with dark sand, some amazing rocks, and the surfers.
The black sand at the beach is iron-rich, and it was created by the erosion of volcanic rock from the nearby Tasman Sea. Piha is world famous among surfers for its powerful, consistent waves. It is also notoriously dangerous for swimmers due to strong rips and unpredictable currents. Swimming only between the red and yellow flags is patrolled by lifeguards. And that concludes my New Zealand adventure. Subscribe and comment. Thank you.